Hey, hello, how you doing? Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. He's got the plaque over his left shoulder. Honor it, behold it, worship it. All right, we're here with the goodies. We're previewing Thursday night slate. It is what it is, man. We're about to have some fun here. Fantasy NBA today. I want to tell you about our great sponsor, Bet Online, and then we'll get Doc and we'll talk about this Cleveland and OKC rematch game. Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, it's all good. Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, college football as well. The Natty's coming up on Monday night. BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks, a.k.a. Hatties, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, we get a rematch of Cleveland and OKC, this time in OKC. Twice in a week they will meet here. Cavs beat the Thunder in Cleveland, snapping the Thunder's 15-game winning streak. So will Oklahoma City get revenge back at home? I'm going to tee you up to give the first answer here with some news, huge news. Isaiah Hartenstein, left soleus strain, will miss approximately 1 week, suffered the injury during Tuesday's game against the 76ers. So, Doc, does OKC get revenge or not?
I'm still going to go with the Thunder, just like we went with the Thunder when they were at Cleveland, and we were wrong. OKC's 17-2 at home. They're 33-6 overall. And I know no Isaiah Hartenstein, no Chet Holmgren. That's going to be a tall task. Some other guys are going to have to step up. But I feel like the Cavs are due to calm down a little bit, get that sixth loss, and the Thunder are due to beat them. I don't think I'll lose 2 games in a row to Cleveland, I don't think.
So, Doc, for me, this all comes down to Hartenstein. I was ready early, what day is it? It's Wednesday. Early today, when I was looking at this, I was like, OKC back at home is going to get the win here. Oklahoma City is a 2.5-point favorite, and I'm going to take Cleveland plus the points here, Doc. I was thinking about taking OKC, okay? And here's why. Bench scoring. In the game in Cleveland, it was 43-26 in favor of the Cleveland bench. You remember Max Strus had a big game with 17. Ty Jerome had 15, okay? They combined for 32 points. And role players and bench players play better at home than they do on the road. That's as true as the sky is blue. So I figured Isaiah Joe may pop for an 18. Aaron Wiggins may pop for a 15. And OKC may get those contributions, right? And they still might, okay, Doc? But to me, the bottom line is you watch that game and I watch that game. And my recollection is, just throttle dunk from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, lobbing to each other. They combined for 13 freaking assists in the game between the two big men, okay? Passed a lot to each other. It would be the guard coming downhill, get it to Allen or Mobley around the dotted line, and then they would turn and either make a shot or just lob to the other guy coming in out of the dunker spot for a jam. It was a complete mismatch, okay? They had gargantuan statistics. Isaiah Hartenstein was like, what do I do? Where do I go? There was too much going on, too many bullets flying. He picked up 5 fouls in the game. He was fortunate just to finish the game, and he did flirt with a triple-double. And now Hartenstein is out, and Chet Holmgren is out? This is not going to work, okay? Is Jalen Williams suddenly going to play a bunch of time? What other big do they have to put in there? And I'm not talking about J-Dub. I'm talking about the other Jalen Williams, who I like. He's a solid bench center, but he's all they have right now. It's like Jericho Sims against the world. It's just not going to work, Doc. And Cleveland, to me, is a very consistent, they've lost a couple of games, right? But they're just a very consistent effort team. I feel like I can count on Cleveland. They just haven't shown us this year that team, oh, man, you really let me down tonight. Oh, man, you guys play like garbage tonight. Like, they may take an L, but they're out there fighting like hell. And I think they're going to bring that effort to OKC, and I think they're going to cover the spread. So you and I disagree on that one right out of the gate, Doc. Let's go.
You want to talk about an unholy symbiosis. The fact that there are two Jalen Williams on the same team in today's NBA is kind of mind-blowing. And the one Jalen Williams, the one with a Y and an I, the one that doesn't do anything every single night, regardless of how much he plays, is going to be called into action for this game. And he's going to have to do something. But let's not forget that the good Jalen Williams, my Jalen Williams, with an L and an E, is kind of balling out still, even though you say he's overrated, even though you say that I'm wrong.
I don't think he's overrated. I think you overrate him. There's a difference.
He started at center the last time they didn't have a center. He's going to start center in this game. Are they going to struggle without Hartenstein and Holmgren? Yes. But SGA and Jalen can still lead this team to a win. I think the crowd is going to be going nuts. You know, we've talked all year, oh my God, Cleveland, they've only lost 4 games. How are they doing this? Well, now they've lost 5, and OKC has only lost 6. And OKC has been rolling people. The only team that has stopped OKC since before Christmas is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lightning does not strike in the same place twice.
I love it. I love that we have a difference on that. Andre Lemouche, our great producer, break the tie here. Who you got, man? You going with OKC minus, let me go to the, where was that? You going with OKC minus 2.5 at home, or you going with Cleveland plus the 2.5? I'm going with Cleveland. He says OKC minus 2.5. All right, I am outnumbered here. And so I can't wait to see how that plays out. Now, Doc, let's get into some other angles on this game. Okay, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, Doc, had 11 points on 3 of 16 in the first meeting. Like, just crazy bad numbers from him, right? Yet they won the game, okay, because the core 4 just has answers. Do we get a different result here from Donovan Mitchell, or do you think this is a torture chamber thing? Talk to me about Don in this game.
It is a torture chamber thing. It was not it was not a mystery what happened the last time, but Donovan Mitchell is a good enough offensive fantasy or basketball player in general that he can overcome the torture chamber. Like, he's not going to get shut down every time. He's Donovan Mitchell. He's too good. The fact that Cleveland won that game with Mitchell playing so poorly is a little concerning for a guy who just said Oklahoma City was going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell doesn't pop their 30 in this one tonight. So, I think he bounces back. I'm not probably putting money on Mitchell. I'm probably not rolling him in DFS because Oklahoma City's guard defense is elite. It's up there with Boston. But I do think Mitchell bounces back and has a good game.
I agree with you, Doc. I wouldn't go over on a point prop for Donovan Mitchell because it's at OKC. It's one of the toughest matchups for any scorer in the entire NBA. Okay, like you think of at home against Washington, right? It's a bonanza. It's a score fest. This is at OKC, but it is also Donovan Mitchell, who's a rise to the occasion guy who is not worried about road venues and like he just goes and kicks ass. Okay, he's a future Hall of Fame guy. So I agree, but I would not go over on a point prop here. I would just kind of stay away from that. But to you Don owners out there, he's going to have a much better game. He probably at least doubles the scoring from 11 to 22 plus. Doc, pick one streamer from this game. I give you Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Max Strus, Dean Wade, Karis LeVert. Because I saw the Ty Jerome was questionable with an illness. I believe it was an illness, so I don't want to include him here. Wallace, Dort, Strus, Wade, LeVert. Give me one streamer.
I always go Lou Dort. I don't know why. I always there's a magnetism, like a magnet pulling me towards Lou Dort. I always feel like he could hit 4 threes and score 25. Um, I think the safest answer is probably Cason Wallace. But if you're trying to hit a home run, I like Lou Dort.
Andre, we're going to need you to come in here again and break the tie. I got Cason Wallace. We talked about him on Tuesday night's episode and how well he's playing. I think 18, 5, and 4 with block, steals, and threes in the previous game. He's been really good, playing the best ball of his life over the last week plus. Okay, so I want to ride that wave. And even with the center position, like Doc said, if they just go ultra small and go J-Dub at the 5, which they probably will, that's going to lead to a nice game from Cason Wallace because they're just going to go guard heavy and move the ball and shoot the rock and play fast, and that all fits with Cason Wallace's game. Andre Lemus says Cason Wallace as well for y'all people. All right, Doc, we've got other games to break down here. That's obviously a mega game, so we spent some time on it here. Breaking down the slate of Thursday night games on Fantasy NBA today. Ethos After Dark on the Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball platform. Doc, Indiana at Detroit. We don't know about Halliburton. It is encouraging, Doc, that he's questionable with a mild left groin strain. He missed the previous game. And so he's not doubtful. He hasn't been ruled out. That's all encouraging stuff. Now, at the time of our recording here, we don't know if he's going to play or not. We do know that Ben Mathurin will not play in this game. He was suspended 1 game for bumping the official, and Ben's got to keep his head, man. That stuff wasn't cool the other night. Check this out, Doc. We have perhaps a major development with the Indiana Pacers as Aaron Nesmith is questionable for this game. Hello, he has not even been really on the injury report radar in terms of maybe playing, maybe not in a long time. He has not played since November 1st, okay? That's 2.5 months ago, my God. I freaking love Aaron Nesmith. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. Think about Indiana, okay? They are 12-4 in their last 16 games. They started 10-15. They have not had Aaron Nesmith, one of the top dogs in the league, for 2.5 months, yet they're 12-4 in their last 16 games. He is going to be a shot of adrenaline into this team because they're going to get him back here relatively soon, this game or maybe a couple of games out. So wanted to say all of that, Doc. And if Halliburton misses this game, Mathurin is out. Talk to me about Nebhard and McConnell and which of those 2 guys you would like the most.
I'm a McConnell guy. Last game without Tyrese, 21 minutes. Kind of a boring stat line, but he had 10 points, 8 assists, and a rebound. Nesmith being out, Mathurin being out, Halliburton possibly being out. If all those guys are out, McConnell has to play more. And if he did 10 and 8 in 21 minutes, I don't know why he can't do 15 and 10 with a 3 and a steal and 3 rebounds in, 27 minutes.
Look, I agree. If all of these guys are out, we don't know if Nesmith is out. We don't know if Halliburton is out. If all these guys are out, shoot, you can just throw a dart and you're going to nail it here. Both the guys are going to spike pretty well. If Halliburton plays, I'd go Nebhard because he starts, and then TJ McConnell shrinks a little bit. So keep your eye out for that. Doc's a McConnell guy. I'm more of a Nebhard guy. Nebhard had a goodie line in the previous game. He had 3 steals. He had 9 assists. He had a good game. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he gave some goodies out there. Look for Pascal Siakam in this game, folks. It's a good matchup for him against Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is not, a defensive stopper. He's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll bump you in the chest. Like, he'll move his feet a little bit, but he ain't stopping anybody, okay? Pascal Siakam in 2 matchups against Detroit this year has been very good. He's got a PRA of 33 with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. He shot 50%. He is comfy and cozy against Tobias in Detroit. So look into a PRA prop. Look into a point over prop on Pascal Siakam. I like him a lot. And also with Cade Cunningham. You can go over on a point prop. You can go over on a PRA prop. It's all in play here. This is a great matchup. Now, if Aaron Nesmith plays, that all changes, okay? But Nesmith has not played for these two matchups the Cade has had so far against Indiana. He's at 26, 5, and 9, a 40 PRA with the shooting splits of 48, 50, 100, and he's made 6 threes. Cade has been fantastic, Doc, against the Indiana Pacers this year. So I'm feeling good about him if Nesmith doesn't play in this game.
I mean, with all those guys out, if Nesmith, Halliburton, and Mathurin are all out, I have no idea who guards Cade Cunningham. It's a Cade Cunningham 30 and 10 night, and perhaps he'll have a triple-double. At least he's going to go off. I don't know who's going to guard him. And maybe this bodes well for Sarah Thompson, finally getting a pop game under his belt. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit wins this game.
Detroit's rolling, dude. And if Halliburton misses this game, it really levels the playing field here. If Halliburton plays, it's not an ATS thing. I'm just kind of vibing this out. I really like the way Indiana's playing right now. They took an L the other night to Cleveland. Cleveland's obviously at the top of the league right now. It was an 8-point spread and a 10-point game, so Indiana wasn't that far off of the Vegas projection on that game. So and the game is in Indiana. I do kind of like the pace. Pardon me, it's at Detroit. Boy, that's a coin flip, dude. Put a quarter on your thumb and flip it in the air and call it. I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit won this game. I would not. Before we move on to the next game, which is Phoenix at Washington, we want to thank you for listening to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast. We appreciate the support. Go to sportsethos.com and subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Also, subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. Phoenix at Washington. It's the Bradley Beal Bowl. No, it's not. He's doubtful for the game. The most Bradley Beal thing ever. Of course he's doubtful for the game. Oh, boo-hoo. Left ankle sprain. Suffered in Tuesday's loss to the Atlanta Hawks. So he's out. He's doubtful for Bradley Beal means DNP. All right. Doc, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going for 30-plus in this game. They did in that Atlanta game, and why wouldn't they here? You're not going to have Bradley Beal. You're going to have a mishmash of Golden State / Phoenix bench and role players that play 8 or 19 or 22 minutes. Who the hell damn knows? And so Durant and Book, and it's at Washington. Hello, great matchup. Both of these guys are going to have to spike in this game, and I like them both to go over 30 points once again.
I think Tyus Jones becomes relevant with this news because let's face it, Rick, like you just said, a doubtful tag for any NBA player. 98 times out of 100 means they're not playing. Occasionally, you'll see a doubtful guy suit up and play, but it's very, very rare. When you add in the fact that it's our guy Bradley Beal, it's 100% guaranteed he's not playing. He's done. In fact, he may not play for the next 3 games, dude. So I think Tyus Jones becomes relevant, and Grayson Allen has a chance to shine with Devin Booker in street clothes. We've been waiting on it all year, Grayson Allen. Like, where are you, bro? Dante DiVincenzo, we've been waiting on him. He's making noise. We see him occasionally. We hear from him. We still haven't really heard from Grayson Allen. And this is sort of a now or never situation with him.
Let me just throw another log on the Tyus Jones fire. I agree. I think he looks much more attractive with Bradley Beal out than he does with Bradley Beal in. And Coach Bud's rotation has completely ruined Tyus Jones, okay? And, by the way, it's sapping his value. He's on a 1-year veteran minimum deal that he took from Phoenix because he was going to start and play big minutes and rehab his value. And Coach Bud now has different plans. Keep that in mind, folks. But Tyus Jones, where did he play before he played for the Phoenix Suns? Ding! Washington. Did Washington pay him? Nope. He had to take a veteran minimum deal instead of taking like 3 years and $30 million, I don't know, or something like that from Washington. There was not $30 million on the table for Tyus Jones. There was like $3.5 million on the table, and Washington and their front office is to blame. Do you think that Tyus Jones might want to stick it to that team that did not pay him? I do. Look for a good game for Tyus Jones. The Tyus Jones point prop is 8.5. Play the over on that. Tyus Jones is going to have, it might not be a 20-point spike game, but it might be a 14-point game, and a 14-point game will hit the over prop on Tyus Jones.
Are you calling this a revenge game?
Oh,
or
yeah,
are you
yeah,
calling
yeah,
it
yeah.
a reunion game?
Yep. This is a revenge game.
Okay.
There's piss and vinegar involved here.
Yes, there is.
Sorry, that was gross. Dude, Washington has several viable players right now, Doc. Jordan Poole is back, humming along. He's a fantastic fantasy player. We all know that. Maybe inefficient, but the goodies, dude. The threes, the blocks, the steals. Kyle Kuzma, healthy, playing well. Alex Sarr, having a good rookie year, man. I mean, there's goodies in that stat line. He is going to be a really good player 2 or 3 years from now. And Bilal Coulibaly, solid fantasy player. Not great, okay? Kind of end of your roster type of guy, but pretty darn good, okay? Doc, I have a couple of questions here with these guys. Let's take a little inventory of the Washington Wizards here real quick, okay? Who is getting shut down? All 4 of them? 3 of the 4? You tell me. Poole, Kuzma, Sarr, Bilal. Who's getting shut down, and who do we need to try to sell high with right now?
Well, Kuzma's number 1, right? Like, bye. Like he's going to get shut down. And that means Justin Champagnie at some point is going to be ready to roll for the rest of the season, I believe. Jordan Poole would be my second bet for who's going to be shut down. And, I don't really know what that means, but I'm sort of a Corey Kispert guy. Corey Kispert, near the end of last year, was kind of fun. And I kind of see that happening again. If they shut Poole down, I don't know if they will do it or not, but I kind of feel like they will. And if they do, I think Kispert will be a, last 3 or 4 weeks of the season kind of fun guy to have on your team.
So I think you got to sell high with Kuzma. I mean, good luck, right? He's been so injury prone this year. I don't think Kuzma's not going to bring back a lot. Send Kuzma over to the PJ Washington manager in your league. See if you get a bite. And then with help me out. Jordan Poole. You could actually go, not big game hunting, but you could go decent size hunting with Jordan Poole. Like, his stat line is marketable, and he's been very good this year from a fantasy perspective. So just keep that in mind. I would shop those guys a little bit, because I'm with Doc. They project not to finish the year for Washington because they're going to enter the Cooper. Well, hell, they're already smack dab in the middle of the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, and they're not going to want to screw that up by winning games in March and April. They're going to try to literally lose 25 games in a row at the end of this year, okay? Kuzma is going to be a trade candidate. Obviously, if he gets moved to a contender, with a nice starting spot for him, Kuzma's going to be fantastic. But as it stands right now, if you could go out there and get something for him as a Washington Wizard, I would, because maybe they can't trade him. So, Doc, we're on the same page. I don't think Alex Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly are going to get shut down. They're real lottery picks, especially Alex Sarr. But, Bilal Coulibaly is a second-year guy. He was a top 10 pick. You've got to groom him. And you can still lose with Bilal Coulibaly playing 32 minutes a game. So I don't think they're going to shut him down.
Well, and same with Bub Carrington. You can play Bub and Bilal and Alex Sarr all the minutes you want, and you're still going to lose whenever you want to, because these guys are too young, don't have anybody around them to help them out. I feel like the guys we're talking about, Bub Carrington, Bilal Coulibaly, and Alex Sarr, they're tank proof.
Bub Carrington has league winner potential. He could be a PRA machine in March and April. And so, with more minutes, with more shots. I do think I'm not into Bub Carrington right now because guys are healthy, but if they strip it bare again, we're going to be talking a lot about, like, Bub is going to be like a 15-5-5 guy to me every night with probably a steal, probably a 3.5 to 2 threes. He's not going to go crazy, but 15-5-5 with those goodies off the waiver wire is pretty damn good. Doc, let's get to the Clippers at Portland. We are breaking down Thursday night slate in the NBA. Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander, FSWA Hall of Famer. We are Fantasy NBA today, and we thank you guys for checking us out on our YouTube channel. Those of you guys that are doing that. Lakers at Blazers, Doc. What I want to focus on here, and I know you do too, is Scoot Henderson. What do we get for an encore from Scoot, who in his previous game had 39 points, 8 threes, 6 assists. By the way, Chauncey Billups, I love you. I do. He's a super cool dude. Always been great to me. I loved him as a player. And Chauncey, I don't know if this is you or Joe Cronin, but y'all are messing this up, okay? Either Sharp or Simon should be coming off the bench. They're not the future of this franchise. Scoot is, okay? He's the guy that you got to replace Damian Lillard, okay? You need to groom him more, develop him more. To me, they've been nuts for not starting him, dating back to last year. Soliloquy over. Doc, Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant are both out, pardon me. Denny Avdia is doubtful, okay? Jeremy Grant is out. So, which means they're probably both not going to play. What happened in the previous game where both of these guys did not play? Scoot Henderson started and had 39 with goodies. So what are we getting from an encore standpoint from Scoot Henderson here?
I talk about it seemingly every show. Like, Scoot Henderson and Bub Carrington are both going to be silly season heroes. And Scoot Henderson, last April, his numbers in like 8 games were sick. And in March, they were very good. Like, we are nearing Scoot Henderson calendar time again. And I think the fact he did that his last game, 39 points. Wow. The Clippers have a pretty good defensive backcourt. So I don't know that I trust Scoot to blow up. He could miss a bunch of shots. Also, I don't know if I fully agree with you. I feel like the Blazers do think Shaedon Sharp is kind of part of their future, right? Maybe not as much as Scoot, but a lot more of their future than Anthony Simons, in my opinion.
No, so let me just clean that up. Shaedon Sharp needs to start for this team. I just don't think Anthony Simons needs to start for this team. He's got 2 years left under contract. He's a nice player, okay? But Scoot Henderson's the guy you got to replace Damian Lillard. To me, you should start Scoot over Simons and try like heck to trade Anthony Simons while starting Shaedon Sharp. So we're on the same page with that.
Totally agree.
I don't know if I said that wrong or not. I just want to I want to back up what you were saying, Doc, okay? Some second half Scoot Henderson numbers. In 7 games in April, Scoot Henderson was 19, 3, and 10, okay? 3 threes per game on 42%, all right? That's in half a month, last April. The month before, he was 15 and 5. The month before, February, he was 18, 4, and 6. Okay, let me give you his second half numbers last year. Where's pre and post? Post last year, okay? 19 games after the All-Star break, 16, 3, and 7. There is a stud in Scoot Henderson, okay? They just need to play him. And Doc, I completely agree with Doc. Scoot Henderson is going to be a game changer. Doc, you know the team that's like 19 and 4 and just rolling through a fantasy basketball season, right? That team could get toppled by a squad with Scoot and Bub Carrington and Justin Champagnie and like these tank risers. You have to have these tank risers to win your league, even if you're at the top. And Doc, even if you have to get these guys to keep them off the second best team, the third best team, the fourth best team, the fifth best team, right? Just to play defense. But you got to know who these league winner type of guys are going to be.
Yep, totally agree. And I mean, I wish Donovan Clingan could get healthy and stay healthy because what I've wanted to see all year and all of last year and the year before that from Portland is get Anthony Simons out of the damn starting lineup. Start Scoot, start Shaden, start your guy Tumani Kamara. Get Jeremy Grant gone. Like, what are we doing, people? Why is this still a thing? Let Denny Avdia play. Let Chris Murray play. Let anybody else play. I don't need to ever see Jeremy Grant play another game for the freaking Blazers. Doesn't do anything for me. And then DeAndre Ayton, Snowstorm Ayton, get him out of there. Let somebody else play. Hell, I'd rather see Duop Reith at this point. Let the kids play in Portland.
Snowstorm Ayton. I love that. Bro, you got to run with that in print. That is absolutely fantastic. Snowstorm Ayton. If I choose to use that moving forward, it won't be here, Doc. That's your joint. But I may say that elsewhere. I will definitely copyright you if I use that. I love that. Snowstorm.
You can have it. I don't want it. You can have it. It's yours.
My boy. Thank you. Donovan Clingan, by the way, Doc, we talked about this on Tuesday night. We were pretty worried about it because he was like banging on walls and like really showing visible pain and discomfort and stuff like that. He's out for approximately 1 week, according to reports. So this is good news. Out approximately 1 week does mean out indefinitely, but it's not like they said, all right, he's got, a grade, whatever, and he's out 2 to 4 or 4 to 6 or whatever. So out approximately a week, we'll take it. Based on how it looked. The optics kind of spoke about maybe a longer timeline, but that's where it's at right now. So before we get into Houston and Sacramento, the last game to break down here in the Thursday night slate, please download the Sports Ethos app. It's really simple and it's free. Do it now. We'll keep you updated on all the news that impacts your fantasy teams. We've got the tools included in there that will give you the edge in fantasy basketball. Grab it from your favorite app store and continue to dominate with us. So Houston at Sacramento, Doc. It's the second of a back-to-back for the Rockets. And the Rockets, let me just get that final. Wow, 128 to 108 at Denver in a non-Jokic game. Won't belabor the point there. But it is the second of a back-to-back for the Rockets. One previous meeting between these teams, Doc. The Kings beat the Rockets in Sacramento 120 to 111 in a cup game. And I want to talk about Alpi Şengün and Domantas Sabonis because when I was analyzing Alpi Şengün through the pre-draft process, and I'm seeing the footwork, and I'm seeing the hands, and I'm seeing the soft touch around the rim, and I'm seeing the ability to drop off passes and kick out to shooters and swing the ball from the right side of the court to the left side of the court. And I'm like, this guy's really good. I loved Alpi coming out in the draft. I thought the Rockets got an absolute steal. I think they got him at 16. And I was like, this dude's a poor man's Sabonis. I said that in the pre-draft process. He has literally turned into the poor man's Domantas Sabonis, okay? Sabonis obviously is a triple-double machine. Alpi is not. So it's kind of a low-key Sabonis line, right? And then you've got, it's kind of like you go Jokic down to Sabonis, down to Şengün, but they're all kind of in a similar lineage of being these PRA machines. Okay, first meeting this year, Alpi Şengün went for 24, 8, and 6, shot 50%. Sabonis was fantastic too, 27, 7, and 4, 13 of 19 shooting. Last year, they weren't great against each other, Doc. Alpi in 3 meetings went 15, 8, and 7. Solid, but not great. That's probably not an over PRA when you average it all out. And Sabonis was 15, 13, and 6. Again, solid, but a little light in the points, a little light in the assists. But this year, it's been a different story. But to me, that's what this game is all about. Alpi Şengün and Domantas Sabonis going head-to-head. It is going to be fun in the hole in this game.
It is going to be fun. And I don't really care about last year's numbers. Şengün's a different player now. Feel like he's hit his stride, man. He's in his, 4th year? We overrated him for 3. He's doing it this year. He did it last year too, but he's on a different level now, as is this whole Houston team. Jalen Green, on fire, good to go the rest of the way. Ahmed Thompson, maybe the most underrated player in the league right now. Fred VanVleet, quietly floating below, just below the, I don't know what the line is, but he doesn't catch a lot of headlines. He doesn't catch a lot of hype, but he's a very good player for this team, especially being an experienced vet and all that. And then you got Shea Goop. And now we got Tari Eason still out. Your guy, Cam Whitmore, balling, had a good game on Wednesday night. I love Houston, man. I love everything that's going on there.
I know you do. We both do. We're on a Houston thing, folks. It's the Fantasy NBA today, Cam and Doc. Let's talk about Malik Monk versus Keon Ellis. This is a very interesting thing with this team. It's a debate within the debate, okay? Malik Monk, right groin soreness, is probable for Thursday's game. Great news. I love Malik Monk. Not going to be a long-term thing. Probable for Malik Monk means he's playing, all right? Previous game, Keon Ellis started for the injured Malik Monk and had a really good stat line, all right? Now, but in the previous game, Malik Monk was healthy. He started, Keon Ellis came off the bench, all right? So what is going to happen here? I believe Keon Ellis is going to go back to the bench, and they're going to put the money on the floor, which is Fox, Monk, Keegan, DeRozan, and Sabonis, okay? Now, the impact of this, the ripple effect of this, I believe, Doc, is a point prop over for Jalen Green, okay? He had 28 in the first meeting on 9 of 14 shooting. Ellis did not play. He caught a Denipkada, a DNP CD under Mike Brown, in a cup game. And now, obviously, Doug Christie has Keon Ellis in the rotation. He starts him from time to time. But I think it just kind of is what it is. I think Malik Monk said in the offseason he wants to start. The franchise is going in that direction. I do not agree with it at all. Malik Monk is an elite, quite obvious right there for sixth man of the year. Like this year, if Malik Monk were coming off the bench for all these games, he'd probably be above Peyton Pritchard and DeAndre Hunter for sixth man of the year. He's that good. He's a better player than both of those guys, dude. So if Keon Ellis is playing 18, 20 minutes off the bench, I think that's a full green light for Jalen Green. Against Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray and these guys, they can't check Jalen Green the level he's at right now.
Correct. Keon Ellis is the Jalen Green stopper. And that's why he should be in the starting lineup for this game. I like the Kings better with Ellis starting and Malik Monk coming off the bench.
Me too.
Malik Monk wants to start. His agent wants him to start. It's a thing, but I think for the team, the betterment of the team, I think they're better off with Monk coming off the bench and Keon started. I think it's a Jalen Green game. He's hot. He's on fire. He did a huge TV interview on NBA TV on Wednesday night because he was such a stud. He's going to go off in this game. There's no doubt about it.
One last question, Doc. Which streamer do you feel better about? If somebody is out there and they're like, yo, I want to roll with somebody in this game. This should be a fun game, okay? Houston at Sacramento should be a fun game. Are you streaming Cam Whitmore or are you streaming Keon Ellis?
Oh, that is a great question. I guess if Keon's coming off the bench, I'm streaming Cam. If Keon's starting, I may still be streaming Cam. But at least then it's a toss-up. But I'll go with Cam Whitmore.
I like the breakdown. If Keon Ellis is starting, I'm starting Keon Ellis. If Keon Ellis is coming off the bench, I'm going with Cam Whitmore. It's that simple to me. If Keon Ellis is starting, he's going to have goodies. He might be in foul trouble a little bit, tracking Jalen Green, but he's going to have like 2 blocks and 2 steals because he's going to be out there to play defense and get stops. and just be a dog on Jalen Green, that's going to lead to deflections and hands on balls and all that kind of stuff. And he might have 6 points, but he'll have defensive goodies. And I go with starters over bench players. I just do. There's an anchor to minutes and just to goodies that bench players don't have. So that's how I would go. But it's conditional on whether Keon Ellis starts or not. Again, I presume my prediction is that Keon Ellis will not start this game. Okay. So as we sit here right now, my answer is Cam Whitmore. If Doug Christie surprises us with a start by Keon Ellis and a bench game from Malik Monk, I will applaud it. And at that point, I would say Keon Ellis should get the nod. All right. We are out of time, folks. Good luck with all of your basketball decisions here heading into Thursday night slate. For Steve Alexander, for our great producer, Andre Lemouche, I'm Rick Kamla. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Fantasy NBA Today. Doc and I will be back Thursday night right after the games. Check us out on the Sports Ethos YouTube channel or find us on the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. And this show right here was proudly presented by Bet Online. See you soon.